Hi, this is Mrs. Freeman. Today we're going to solve some multi-step inequalities. And to do this, we're going to use the same steps that we used to solve an equation. So we had 5 steps. The first step was to distribute, which just means to multiply the number outside a set of parentheses. Second step was to combine our like terms. So these could be either constants, like adding 10 and 12, or this could be looking at some variables like 3x minus 8x. Third step was to get the variables on one side. The fourth step is to undo addition and subtraction. And the fifth step is to undo multiplication and division. Now the big thing with inequalities, don't forget to flip your inequality symbol when you multiply or divide by a negative number. So let's look at the first example. So we have 8x minus 5 is greater than negative 11. So we're going to draw our line through our inequality symbol, just like when we solved equations. And we don't have any distributive property or combining like terms here. So we're going to start by getting rid of the minus 5. So we're going to add 5 to each side of our inequality. That way our 5's cancel on the left, and we'll have 8x. Bring down your inequality, which is greater than. And we have negative 11 plus 5, which will give us negative 6. And then we'll divide each side by 8, since that's what's with the variable. So the 8's will cancel. We have x is greater than. Now this is one where we're going to get a fractional answer. So 8 doesn't go into 6 evenly, but we could reduce. 2 goes into both of them. So 2 will go into 6 negative 3 times, and 2 will go into 8 4 times. Okay, and if you have trouble with fractions, remember you can put those in the calculator. And it says we're also going to graph on the number line. So we're going to graph our number line. So we're going to have negative 3/4. We want one number on the left and on the right. So to the right we're going to have 0, and then we'll have a positive 1. And to the left we'll have negative 1 and negative 2. So open circle, since it's pointing to the right, we're going to shade to the right. Okay, let's look at the second example. So we'll draw our line here through our inequality. So we don't have distributive, we don't have combining like terms, but we do have variables on both sides. So we'll take our smallest variable, which is the negative 4x. We'll add 4x, and we'll add it underneath the other x as well. So on the left, the negative 4 and positive 4 cancel, and we'll just have a 3. Bring down our greater than or equal to. Bring down the 23. We'll add our x's. 6x plus 4x is positive 10x. Then we're going to get our constants on one side. So we'll start on the right and subtract 23. Subtract 23 on the left. So now 3 minus 23 is negative 20. Bring down our inequality, greater than or equal to. The 23's cancel on the right. We'll have our 10x left. The last step, divide by the number with the variable. So we'll divide both sides by 10. And negative 20 divided by 10 is negative 2, greater than or equal to x. And since we're going to graph, I'm going to flip that. So my variables first. So x is less than or equal to negative 2. So our number line will have negative 2. On the right we'll have negative 1 and 0. On the left we'll have negative 3, negative 4. We'll have a closed circle here since we have that or equal to. And our arrow is pointing to the left, so we'll shade to the left. Okay, example 3. We have 4/3 x minus 14 is less than or equal to negative 6. Draw your line. Okay, once again we don't have distributive or combining here. So let's get rid of this minus 14. So we're going to add 14 to both sides of your inequality. On the left, the 14's cancel, and we'll have 4/3 x less than or equal to. And then negative 6 plus 14 is positive 8. So on the left, remember this means 4 divided by 3. So to get rid of this divided by 3, we're going to multiply by 3 on both sides. So that way the 3's cancel on the left, and that leaves us with a 4 and with an x, less than or equal to, and on the right, 8 times 3 is 24. Last step, we're going to divide both sides by 4. 4's cancel, x is less than or equal to, 24 divided by 4 is 6. So graph on the number line, so 6 in the center. To the right, we'll have 7 and 8, and to the left, we'll have 5 and 4. So closed circle, since it has or equal to, pointing to the left since it's less than, so shade to the left. So example 4, we have negative 12x plus 8 is greater than or equal to 3 times the quantity of negative 9x plus 1. So draw our line. And on the right side we have distributive property. So 3 times negative 9x is negative 27x. And 3 times 1 is positive 3. We'll bring down the left side, negative 12x plus 8. Bring down an inequality greater than or equal to. Now we have variables on both sides, so take the smallest variable. So we'll start with negative 27x, add 27x, and add it with your other variable as well. So now we're going to have negative 12x plus 27x is 15x. Bring down the plus 8, greater than or equal to. The x's cancel on the right, which will leave us with 3. Then we're going to subtract 8. So the 8's canceled. We have 15x is greater than or equal to. So 3 minus 8 is negative 5. Divide both sides by 15. 15's cancel, so x is greater than or equal to. Now same thing here, we're going to have a fractional answer again, because 15 does not go into 5. But we can reduce. 5 goes into both. So 5 will go into 5 one time, keep our negative. 5 goes into 15 3 times. Okay, and like I said, if you have trouble with fractions, use your calculator there. So we'll graph on the number line. So negative 1/3. Since that's a negative, we're going to have 0 on the right and negative 1 on the left. You can put a positive 1 and a negative 2 as well if we need to. So closed circle, since we have or equal to, it's pointing to the right, so we'll shade to the right. So last example here, we're going to use all the steps. So I'm going to draw my line through an inequality. So our first step is to distribute. So we're going to distribute this negative that's on the left side, which is really like a negative 1 here. So negative 1 times n is negative 1n. Negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. I'm going to bring down that plus 5n is less than negative 9 minus 6n. So now on the left we can combine like terms. So we have this negative 1n and this positive 5n. So negative 1 plus 5 would be positive 4n. Bring down the minus 3 is less than negative 9 minus 6n. Now we have variables on both sides. So take the smallest variable, which is the negative 6n. We'll add 6n. So we'll have to add it under the other variable on the left. Now we're going to look and say 4n plus 6n will give us 10n. Bring down the minus 3 is less than. The n's cancel on the right. We'll have a negative 9 left. Then we'll add 3 to both sides. So we're going to have 10n is less than. So negative 9 plus 3 is negative 6. We'll divide both sides by 10. 10's cancel and n is less than. So once again we have another fraction here. 10 won't go into 6, but 2 will go into both of these. So 2 goes into 6 3 times, leave the negative. 2 will go into 10 5 times. So n is less than negative 3/5. So draw your number line. So negative 3/5, 0 on the right, negative 1 on the left. You can also put a positive 1 and a negative 2. Open circle. The arrow is pointing to the left, so we'll shade to the left.